Hey, what I'm going to do is get the twin beams and the front to back members kind of together the way they belong, like lining up the holes. Again, there's this plate's marked winch on the front to back that goes underneath the winch column here, and we'll fit everything together. The front to back members have a slot in the plate, so I can go over this cable here. So what you do is these plates are going to line up with the holes here. And the back's going to be just a mirror image of what's going on here. Line the holes up on there, and at some point we're going to put a black plastic, let's see here, goes like that, column plate there. I'll bolt that down a little bit later. Again, the short fitting always goes down. In the short fittings, it's about 2 3/4, 3 inches long, stainless fitting. The longer fittings go up. So if you're not going that direction, it needs to be switched around. The slot in the plate, it's going to go with the cables like that. There we go. I think I have got it. What you want to do is kind of get it lined up where the columns, you know, like, and I'll put one guide plate on here to show you how it goes together. We use a short 3/8 bolt, 3/8 by 1.25 inches, I believe it is. There's a washer on top. Use a washer on top of the plastic. This location where there's no plastic, we can get away with a shorter bolt. Just a 3/8 by 1 right there. Corners are going to go the same way, just kind of a mirror image. And what you're going to want to do is put the 5/16 nuts on the back side. And what I would do is keep it loose for right now and do all 4 corners this way. And then when we get it all kind of loosely put together, what we can do is equally space the distance here on each column. And we know that the frame's square, so if we kind of keep this distance the same on all the 4 corners, it will kind of help tram the carriage. I've got the corners, I've got the guide plates on the corners, I've got all the bolts, and the bolts are a 3/8 by 1.5 inches. They're all the same size. There's 6 on top here. The ones that go on top of the plastic here have washers. The ones down here, they don't. So there's a total, if you include these, there's a total of 6 down here and there's 6 up here. They're kind of an identical bolt pattern, up and bottom. When you're dropping the bolts in place, if the frame isn't square, if the frame's not trimmed, the holes may not line up good. So if you're having problems dropping the bolts through the hole, you know, you wiggle it around a little bit, double check your tramming to make sure that's okay. And then go ahead and tighten it up. And you want to make sure you have equal gaps on all 4 corners before you do that. You know, if this is trammed and you tighten this up, this is going to be trammed too. So that's it pretty much with the frame. We've got it pretty much in place. There's some 5/8 nuts we're going to put on the end of the cables, and I'm going to show you how the cables work. In the front we've got 2 cables that anchor down into the steel plates, and they come out of the front to back members here. And again, it's going to be the shorter, it's going to be shorter fitting. And you're going to want to put it through the hole that's nearest to the inside of the hoist. There's 2 holes in the plate. You're going to want to put it in the nearest, which is right there. And what I like to do is pull the cable out so you can get at it and put the nut on it and bottom the nut out as far as it will go. And it's easier to do it here as opposed to on your back trying to do the same thing. And this is where the 15/16 socket that I have is going to come into play. If you have a 9/16 open-end wrench, you can clamp onto this here, and then a crescent or a pipe wrench. In my case, I've got a 15/16 socket, and you're going to want to bottom this nut out all the way as far as you can go with it. You're going to want to do that on the winch column corner, and you're going to want to do it on the corner across from it. Front to back cable, short fitting through the inside hole or nearest hole to the inside. Put the nut on so you can get at it, tighten her up. In the back we've got kind of a similar situation. This beam here has 2 cables in it, and they create like a Z shape. One anchors down over here, goes through and up, and the other one does the same thing and anchors at the bottom, goes over and up, and keeps the carriage level from side to side. That's what they're doing. The cables that come out of here, that you're going to have the long fittings go up. There's the front to back cable, long fittings go up, and the short fitting goes down. And the short fitting that goes down with this beam is going to anchor into the holes that are on the nearest to the outside of the hoist. And it's going to be the short fitting again. This is coming out of the twin beam. This is going to go in the hole that is closest to the outside of the hoist. And again, you don't need washers at these points. And you can put the nut on at this point. And go ahead and bottom it out all the way you can, as far as you can go. By doing that, by bottoming this nut out, it leaves less of this sticking up through the hole when the carriage goes down. So that's the reason we bottom that out. The other side's the same situation. It goes through the hole on the towards the outside.